So kati nono omwami nze ntuusaawo kubanga bode yenjimanyi Anthony Wadimba abadde ayambadde empale nzirugavu, essaati nzirugavu, enkofiira nzirugavu, ataddeko ne mask enzirugavu. Nyabo mask yo si gyenjogera naye mask eno ey'obulwadde. Era bwe mulabye kuba mumanyi ne muga Wadimba ogamba ki? Nti nzize kukiba fomu. Ne muga tugende ffenna sikuleka bweru. Naye mask lwaki togijjaako weekweka ki? N'agijjako. N'atambula ngadde eri. Naye engeri Mutenyo gye yantwala mu ssomero okusoma nkutte essimu yange. Ne mpuba ekifaananyi ng'atambula akola bw'ati. Luli yeesuula mu luguudo, kati ali wano, ndowooza olumaze okwesuula awo n'afuuka pulezidenti w'ekibiina oba sekuritayi jeno. Kati obwe bujulizi bwempa. Kuba mubadde kuwa booda alabye ekigenda mu maaso, nze mbabuulidde akikoze. Ayagala ntwale mu kooti twabike.
Munna bizinesi tumbula bizinesi yo ng'olanga naffe wano ku Wonders Just ku ssente ntono ddala olw'ofuna obukadde n'obukadde wa bakasitoma. Mulimu kigwokola duulanga naffe tojja kwejjusa nkiddamu tojja kwejjusa okumanya ebisingawo tukubire ku nooti 755 57 44 18. Wonders Just okuyamba guba mutima.
Bana basajja babadde nemugamba teeke bakuzi babadde n'embizi bazeeta ne bazikasuka ne badduka. Bade bakulu basajja babiri bade ne box oba daba le t-shirt ya kubo kubanga yabadde empale ya black ngoma ya mudduka ku muwanvu badduka bayise wano kubanga muliwaddemu abantu twembadde naye aŋŋambye tugende baawo babadde babiri.
Want to accept the fact that there has to be change, because change is a fact of life. Some people have failed to agree that leadership changed, and even when they know they are no longer leaders, they want to go around masquerading as the Uganda Young Democrats president. Others are former presidents, others have not even been in the leadership structures. So we want to sound a warning on all those that are trying to hoodwink the public, calling themselves Uganda Young Democrats. The official age bracket of the UID leadership has to be in between 18 and 30. Beyond 30, you cannot contest to be in the leadership of UID. And also in the membership, we agree that you can be a member up to 35, but the age of 30 to 35 is dormancy. You're not going to actively participate in the spaces of UID, yet we have young people. We believe that we have to formulate space for young people. So we do not want to have old men and women fighting for space for the young people. That is why for us in DP, it is very, very strategic, and we focus mainly on the age, and we are very serious about it. You saw we disqualified some candidates who were above 30 years of age. So we want to call upon all the young people, and we want to assure all the young people that UID remains the most vibrant youth organization in this country. You can have all the other youth leagues of other political parties, but believe me, when they talk about youth in Uganda, you cannot forego the name Uganda Young Democrats. We also want to call on the young people to actively participate in the upcoming 2026 election and actively support colleagues, especially the young people that are running in these elections, because we have discovered the census results indicated that the young people in between 18 to 30 actually who are voters could be close to 27%, and that's a good number. If we could galvanize ourselves put our energies together and support our colleagues and support ourselves, and also put ourselves out there to take up strategic positions, we could become leaders and not be used just by those that want to take positions. And as in UID and in the Democratic Party, picking of nomination forms is ongoing for those who want to contest in different positions, MP, councillors. It is ongoing, and we call upon all the young Democrats across the country to come and pick forms and interest. And for us as UID, our job shall be to support them and to ask the mainstream to actually support very heavily the young people that will want to take up positions. And I want to pledge my support that on the National Executive Committee and on the Management Committee to which I sit, my job shall be to advocate for a special budget for the young people that are contesting in these elections. Right from councillor and to MP, I will advocate that these people are supported, because we have to accept that we do not have enough financial muscle to participate in these elections, just like the other people. And you know, they've worked for some time. For us, most of us are just university graduates. Some are still at universities. Some are very unemployed. Others are just struggling, hustling, and all that. So we are looking forward to support all the young candidates that will be running in the elections. We also want to call on the Electoral Commission. You're well aware that the National Council elections are ongoing, and soon we shall have the new National Youth Council Committee nationally voted. Also the youth MPs. And we are calling upon the Electoral Commission to do thorough check and to look into all the candidates, because we do not want to have elections where youth, we know that a youth is supposed to be below 30 years according to the National Youth Act, but we've been seeing candidates who are actually above 30 years running around and campaigning. And to be specific, in our neighborhood, in other political parties like NRM, they've even nominated them to be candidates. So we are calling upon the Electoral Commission to take up that case and look at it very keenly. Otherwise, as Democratic Party and as UID, we are looking forward to taking the Electoral Commission to court if it allows old people or mature people who are above 30 years to participate in these elections. We've been hearing about them previously, that candidates who are actually above 30 are being nominated for these positions. But this time around, we are here and we are watching keenly for ourselves. We shall not be told. We want to participate and make sure that the young people of this country are actually led by fellow young people. About the International Youth next week, we want to celebrate it, and we call upon all the young people to be keen and to use this day very productively. We do not just want to be a country that celebrates this day annually and then we do not have any output out of it, because we have been celebrating, and all that money that goes to these functions goes to making posh parties, slaughtering cows and putting posh tents. All these do not help a young person out there. So we are calling upon this government that as we celebrate this International Youth Day, what are you putting on table for us? Are you just going to make the young people sit there for 12 hours and as you give them speeches and just come and, you know, give them hope? No, we already have enough hope. We just now want work. What are you putting on table for the young people? We have been asking the government that, can you at least grant some tax holidays? Can you at least exempt taxes from the young people who are starters in businesses? Or put at least incentives, because now you realize that most of the young people even start businesses, but they do not see their first birthdays of their businesses. So we are asking the government that at this International Youth Day, what are you gifting to the young people? The young people are in sports. You saw yesterday in Nambole, we couldn't even win against Algeria, but the president had actually promised that he was going to gift the players 1.2 billion. But wait, why are you just waiting? Why do people have success, yet you've not worked for it? Why the investment that we are putting, for example, in the sports is not good enough to even pull out the wins? Most of our players, the athletes, they train from Kenya. Why can't we invest this money in these sports, and then we can have to start harvesting the goods out of it? So for us, we call that the government should look at how best can we develop our young people. the young people in businesses. How about we put the minimum wage bill that we've been advocating for a long time? Young people finish universities and you find a graduate earning 120,000 at work, yet you spent almost millions from nursery up to university. And then you start, they've sold goats, they've sold plots of lands. Those are things that you can never recover at that amount. So I believe that if we could have Parliament also gift us with a minimum wage bill, and then we have where young people should start from in terms of how much are they earning and how much are they taking home. Those are things that the government should be looking at, not just mere passing budgets for celebrations of such days. I want to thank you, and that's the address in English. Unless there are questions, I can tell. The government for bringing up such initiatives, but I want you to take an example of the PDM, where they say that 30% goes to the young people. In some villages, you find the bureaucracy that is within accessing such funds and such government programs is too high. In some places, they first ask for like 40,000, depending, others 100 for registration. But then you're asking for it from someone who is actually earning nothing. So the bureaucracy and the processes through which you take to access these monies are actually a barrier. If they could be barrierless, that they say, if you're born in this place, just present your ID and say, I'm born here, and then receive the money. It should be as easy as that, because indeed these are our monies, because we are the taxpayers. Yes, the existing barriers majorly are around communication, because some of these programs you cannot even access them. The PR they give them is too limited that only people that are in government that they have Gambano would know about them. In some villages, they will never know about them. They come and they end at the district level. So how about the government itself worked into the down at the grassroots, and then you have a PR system on how you're going to talk to people and also to mobilize the young people to take up in these activities. Yes, thank you. We had wanted to do a tournament, but then you realize that on that day, very many young people have different ways on how they want to celebrate their day. So we shall have a fireplace conversation and have to invite some great leaders of this party and listen to them on how they made it up to where they are, because some of them are icons, we are starters, and we need to keep encouraging young people, bringing them people to mentor them, and that's majorly what we shall be doing on Tuesday. Yeah. We wouldn't want to really focus on them so much, because they are not part of our problems. Right now, we want to focus on working for the young people, but these are people that went to court already, and we want to wait for court, because that's the route they chose to take. But for us, we are up for reconciliation and for talks, because we can never get tired of talking to our people, even those that challenge us. They are welcome to talking. I can tell you the table in DB is very big and we can all fit. The runnings on the streets and carryings of pumpkins and what you've seen just this morning do not help any young person out there. We are going into an election, and I urge them to just do things that are developmental and things that can take them somewhere. Because all these do not add anything on your CV. You want to be applying for a job and then you say you carried pumpkins to EC. Not really. Thank you. Banafe banamawulire ku press conference yaffe. Amanya n'eddoboozi nze Sayuni Helen era nze akulira abavubuka mu kibiina kya Democratic Party. Aneze ne muganda wange Bwambale Collins ye muyizi ku Kyambogo University ng'ali mu bukulembeze obw'Ekyambogo. Leero twasazeewo tujje era tubaleetere ku bakulembeze abalondebwa okuva Embalala, nga kwe kuli nze akulira abavubuka Sayuni Helen President, kuliko ne Maxwell Asiku ye amyuka era aviira mu district ey'Koboko. Leero tasobodde kubeera naffe, alina activity gy'alimu kuba yeesimbyewo eyo era. Ne Nakibule Hajara ye secretary taliiwo, ali eyo Tanzania yagenze okukiikirira UID mu nkiiko eza regional. Adam Sengoba ye deputy secretary nga twagala ku baleeterako ku bukulembeze buno era tweyama buli omu abaddeeyo nga yeeyita UID president oba nga yeeyita mukulembeze mu UID nti obukulembeze bwa UID bwalondebwa embalala era ba delegates ab'olukiiko olusembayo obukulu mu DP abasalawo basalawo nti beebabo bye baba batukulembera kati ate abe be mulaba eyo bananfuusi era tebalina byakukola kyeva babazunga ku street kuba tebalina byakukola naye twagala kubayita nti bajje twogere era tuteeseganye emmeeza ya DP nnene ate buli omu atuukawo tusobola okutuulawo buli omu n'akola ekyasobola okulaba ng'ekibiina kyaffe tukitunda bulungi ate tukiwa erinnya erirungi. Twagala na kuyita abavubuka okujja kuyitira mu kwesimbawo okugenda mu maaso okw'obululu obwa 2026 nti mujje mu Democratic Party kati bali kunona forms na kushowinga interest eri abo abagenda kwesimbawo era ffe ng'abakulembeze mu UID twagala bakakasa nti tugenda kubanoonyeza support esinga kulaba nti mwesimbawo. Tukimanyi bulungi nti abamu kumwe mukyali mu ssomero abamu bakamaliriza tebanafuna na mirimu so mulimu gwaffe gujja kubeera gwa advocating nti babawe ku budget era musobole nammwe okwesimbawo bulungi mubeere nga musobola okuddukanya emirimu gyammwe mu constituencies n'awalala gye mwesimbyewo era tukimanyi bulungi nti percentage ey'abavubuka mu ggwanga nnene nnyo so twagala kuyitira wano okuyita abavubuka nti buli omu omuvubuka waali musupporting abavubuka abano naddala abalina tebalina okwogera abalina bye balina okukola abalina manifestos ennungi abalaga nti baagaliza eggwanga lyaffe ebirungi twesupporting kubanga ku 27% gye tulina bwe tunesupportinga tujja kusanga nga tututte positions ez'obukulembeze mu ggwanga muno so nga si kusupportinga abalala kokka naffe twesupporting tutwale positions mu by'obukulembeze. Twagala na kuyimirira wano kwogera ku Electoral Commission nti Electoral Commission eteekemu amaanyi okukola omulimu gwayo. Tulabye abantu abakulu abasuka mu myaka 3 National Youth Act gyeyogerako okwesimba ku bifo by'abavubuka mu National Youth Council ne mu Youth MPs nti Electoral Commission eyongere okubekenneenya ate eyongere okubatunulamu ababanga tebasaanidde nga naddala basuka myaka ebajjemu kubanga sinna ekyo ffe nga DP era nga UID twetegese already baloya bafa ab'ekibiina mu bamanyi babeerawo buli kaseera twetegese ogitwala mu mbuga z'amateeka bwebanga ekkiriza abantu abatali bavubuka abasuuka mu myaka okubanga bagenda mu maaso okwetaba mu bululu buno. Tusaba era nabo nga bo beekube mu kifuba beekube mu mwoyo boogere nti tebasaanidde era bakiveemu nga bukyali kubaffe UID tubalaba era tugenda kuba nga tubatambulirako paka nga tubaziza we balina okubeera. Balina okubeera mu constituencies, balina okubeera mu districts ne mu councils ko si kubeera nga bakulembera bavubuka ate nga si bavubuka. Bongere okusoma amateeka obulungi amateeka gaffe gekigenderako ffe nga ba Democratic Party abo mazima n'obwenkanya tujja kuba nga tubigoberera nti amazima abatali bavubuka tebajja kukulembera abavubuka. Twagala na kuyimirira wano okusaba government okukomya okubeera nga eyisa just budget ya celebrating International Youth Day wabula ebeeko ebyekolera abavubuka byogamba nti bwe tunaabeeraawo nga celebrating Youth Day ya 2028 nga tugamba mu 2025 bayisa kino era nga tubasaba nti waakiri bayise minimum wage bill omuntu bw'aba amaliriza okusoma ayina watandikira nga waliwo akasale kamanyi nti kekana akajja ko si kumala university n'ogenda kukola n'otandikira ku mitwalo 12 ate ng'egyo mitwalo tosobola era ojja kumala ebbanga nga tozizaawo yadde kyojjewo kyovola bavuka babirabira waggulu era akugamba nti yo waakiri aseringa plot nadda mu business ko si kusoma. So tusaba government mu birabo by'erina otuwa waakiri parliament yandiyisiza minimum wage bill ate ne tugamba nti waakiri banditunudde mu kubanga balina bye batuwa mu business tibatujjako emisolo emiyitirivu kuba emisolo miyitirivu ate abavubuka tetulina ssente oba oliawo olwana kufuna capital ate nga takisi nnyingi okusinga ne capital n'osanga nga bizinesi ennyingi wakagitandika tesobola nakumala mwaka so tusaba nti gavumenti ebeeko nga eteekako tax exemption alisi ng'omala myaka 3 nga tosasudde taxes nga wakatandika bizinesi yoba emyaka 5 ng'ekuteereddekawo ng'okola ng'ozaamu amagoba bizinesi nga bwekula bwemala okula gavumenti esobola okuggyako emisolo naye si kwe kutandikirawo ate ku lunaku olwo lwennyini lw'oba otandise. Twalabye ne pulezidenti ng'ateeseewo ekirabo kya biliyoni 1 ng'egamba nti abawanguzi ba Uganda Cranes be banaawangula ajja kubawa ssente ezo naye nga tusaba nti abakulembeze baffe batunuulire mu kukuza talents z'abaana kusinga kugirinda ng'oli somewhere ready kuba olaba ab'emizannyo baffe abangi nga abathletes they train in Kenya yet if we developed Uganda ne tubeera nga tuyinawo ebisaawe nga tuyinawo institutions ezisobola okutraininga abaana abo ng'osanga nga tomanya emyoga gyabwe oba talents zaabwe zandibadde nga zikula nga tisi kwe kujja wano ate ng'olinda to just kujja kuharvestinga byotaalima mu kusooka. Tweyanzega. I did, yes. Ku gate sibirabye ate sibimanyine kati kozi nga banabiŋŋambako ebyo sibitegeddeeko wabula ekyabyabakama oba electoral commission tugiyita nti bwe kubanga tutuuse mu budde bwa nominations tusaba nti yeekennenye bulungi bakandidate bonna amanyi nti tali mu mateeka kuba amateeka gagamba nti olina okuba nga oli wa myaka 3 nakudda wansi actually 3 bakugyamu 29 bw'obanga osuka myaka ya kivubuka oveemu kuba waliwo betumanyi era twabalabye banominatinze mu bibiina ebirala ng'emyaka bagisukka so tusaba electoral commission nti yeekennenye bulungi ba candidate amanyi nti takolifayinga naddala abaweza emyaka 3 babajjemu nga bukyali kubanga ffe already twayetegese era tumanyi nti bwe baba tebabajjeemu ffe tujja kubeezingako era tujja nakugenda mu kkooti bwe baba tebakikoze nga bukyali bana DP oba bana UID waffe abana UID tulina engeri gye tusolvingamu ebintu byaffe bibeera bya munda kati era bw'obiteeka ku street kitegeeza olwana na street oba tolwana naffe abaagala kulwana naffe ffe tukozesa bwongo era bajje emmeeza mweziri tutuule twogere naye wano tewali faamu era bwe baba balina bye basudde otomanyi ababuze banoonya faamu zaabwe weziri babirese wano era banoonya adresi entuufu si wano. I don't know whether they will combine because I do not know the attitude and the mind behind that. I did not see them and I don't know them. Probably if I knew, I'd respond very well to that question.
Let me confirm. Good morning, members of the press. My job is different, but let me start with being an eyewitness. You saw me come in late here. Asking Helen questions about what took place here is not appropriate. Immediately I arrived there, I found somebody I know. He was in black with a mask. And I told him, Wadimba, why don't you remove that mask? He told me he has come to pick forms. I told him, please come, we go and you get forms. He walked away instead after removing the mask. I have his photo here. Wadimba, what's his other name? Anthony Wadimba. He's a former personal assistant to Norbert Mao. He is a former contestant on DP ticket in Kayunga. He's part of the team that went and threw themselves down at the Electoral Commission. So when you want to know who has brought this, he's Anthony Wadimba. Okay? I saw him personally. I have his photo here. He was, I'm speaking English. Okay? And very basic English. Let me repeat. When I came, you all saw me. I came late. Okay? because this was a press conference for UID, where I was also a member 30 years ago, 35. I was the first secretary for international relations. So we gave them, they were given freedom to do their part. So when I actually came with the border, when I jumped off, he was standing there in a black trouser, black t-shirt, black cap with a black mask. But you see now, even if this one cuts off his head, I'll say that is Helen's body. So I said, Wadimba, what are you doing here? I said, remove the mask. He removed it. Then he told me he has come to pick forms. Remember, even we are giving forms to everybody. Whether you pushed me here and I fell down, we are giving you the form because we believe you're a member of what? Of the Democratic Party. So he said, no, Kangende. He started walking, going. And I told the borderman, hold my books. I took my phone because I know how some of our people behave. Like I've seen one of you here. I know we are in court. They said we locked the press out during the counting in Imbarara. He's among you here with his camera. I was with him in Imbarara. So when I saw these people, I took photos. I said one day they will make allegations. So in my phone, I have a photo of Lulume, of Alitia, their agents counting the votes, even their agents doing this. But the rest is a matter for court. I look forward to that day. So I said this man suspiciously walked away, but walked away looking behind. I don't have a bad phone. So I zoomed and I got his head turning, looking at me. So if you want to know who brought those, the suspicion is it is Wadimba. Questions about what he has brought. But what does the Constitution of Uganda say? It says there is freedom of expression. You can express yourself by demonstrating, express yourself by carrying these things. If at the end of the day what you pick helps you remove Norbert Mao from office by bringing those things here, it is your choice. At the end of the day in class they say no work done. Afuba. Now I come to why I'm here. I thought you had told you we had got about 180 people who had picked forms. Yeah? Others are picking. That gentleman in a bow tie, he's coming from Kawempe South. He's going to contest. He already has his form. So as they continue, and by the way, in 2020, we had about 130 who the party paid nomination fee for. So if 180 have picked now, you remember your colleague who was here and said the number is now low? Probably he was talking in base 5 or base 10. So now, so far, 39 MPs contest aspirants have returned them. Okay, 39. And 22 local government have returned. I am not going to sit here and tell you 5,000 have returned. If you want the numbers, phone numbers, constituency of all those people, we have them. Because we come from a party that believes in truth and justice. So when they return, they have not become party holders. We go through a process. That process is in this document called the Constitution of the Democratic Party. And please tell whoever is telling lies to this country. There is article, that's why they must read. Reading is very good. When your father takes you to school and your mother, please read. Don't go to school. Read and understand. Article 69 of the DP Constitution says, A, in the event of parliamentary elections, any member of the party who qualifies under the provisions of the electoral laws and wishes to stand as the party candidate in any constituency shall apply in writing to the National Executive Committee for approval. That is part A. 69B is the next level. It says, the National Executive Committee, having regard to the ability of the applicant and the interests of the party, may, in its absolute discretion, approve or reject any such application and shall forward the names of the approved applicants to the respective constituency executive committees. The third one is on receipt of the list of approved applicants, the constituency executive committee shall convene the constituency delegates conference, which shall meet and elect from among the approved applicants. So what I want to tell you, you don't come here and then you say, I am the candidate. You apply here. Then when the party, these people who sit on neck, sit, they look at the party interest. They look at everything. They can say 5 people have applied for Rubaga North. None of them qualifies. Therefore, the party will not have a candidate. Or they can say 2 of them. Then those people vote on the 2 who have been approved by the National Executive Committee. That's why the other day, I was reading here, reading, to qualify to contest for president 10 years or 5 years. Those who came to the party yesterday wanted also to be. And we stood our ground. So, those are the people we've had. And 39 MPs, 22 local governments so far. Actually, when we talked of 180 something, now that gentleman is 181. I still have to update my list. We are going for quality, not quantity. We don't play the game of numbers. We play the game of what? Brain power. Mwagala Lugisu. Kakati. Nebaza bato baffe abakulemberwa. By the way, tebananzijjako buyinza, nze chairman we Electoral Commission eyali embalala ng'alina obuyinza atamanyi okubukozesa. Nenangirira President wa UID Helen Sayuni, Vice President Maxwell Asiku, Secretary Hajara Nachibule, Deputy Secretary Adam Sengoba. Naye buli lwe tubeera n'okulonda n'awalala wonna waliwo abasanyuka lwakuba Helen tanantwalako kulya nkoko, waliwo n'abatasanyuka. Abagunjufu bw'otosanyuka ogenda mu kooti. Nobert Mao yali akyogera wano juzi. Tosobola kugenda mu kooti ate n'ogenda mu Electoral Commission ate n'oleeta enva z'abanno. You cannot do it. Bw'otunulira ekizibu nuupu kyerina kati. Bagenda mu kooti bakibalama, abamu ne bagenda mu Electoral Commission. Kati Electoral Commission negamba musibye emikono gyaffe. Tetusobola kukola ki? Tetusobola kubaako kye tukola. N'omulamuzi Kinobe n'afulumya order nti Electoral Commission tokwata ku constitution ya NUP okugikwa okutuusa nga tumaze eki. Kati bw'oyimba rule of law gipracticing yeeyo. Bw'oba tewamatira ddembe ly'obutamatira, kuba sirabangayo awangulwa n'amatira, ddembe ly'obutamatira. Naye luli ne ogenda weesuula mu luguudo, Nobert Mao nga bwe yagamba, genda waakiri weesuula ewammwe. Omu ku bo Ismail Kiria eggulo yazze wano n'akima foomu. Ez'ekibiina kyagamba kiri mu bukulembeze bukyamu yazikimye. Olwaleero mwagaliza birungi ali eri ewaabwe alonkinga. So kati noono omwami nze ntuusaawo kubanga bode ye ngimanyi, Anthony Wadimba abadde ayambadde empale enzirugavu, esaati nzirugavu, enkofiira nzirugavu, ataddeko ne mask enzirugavu. Nyabo mask yo sijenjogera naye mask ene y'obulwadde. Era bwe mulabye kuba mumanyi ne muga Wadimba ogamba ki? Nti nzize kukiba fomu. Ne muga tugende ffenna sikuleka bweru. Naye mask lwaki togijjako weekweka ki? N'agijjako. N'atambula nga ddeeri. Naye engeri Mutenyo gye yantwala mu ssomero okusoma nkutte essimu yange. Ne mpuba ekifaananyi ng'atambula akola bw'ati. Luli yeesuula mu luguudo, kati ali wano, ndowooza olumaze okwesuula awo n'afuuka pulezidenti w'ekibiina oba Secretary General. Kati obwe bujulizi bwempa. Kuba mubadde kuwa booda alabye ekigenda mu maaso, nze mbabuulidde akikoze. Ayagala ntwale mu kooti twabike. Ekindeese olwo lubadde lugambo. President wa UID president anti yali vice kati n'afuuka president ate nze namulangirira eri kati bw'oba toli musanyufu nti ali olagawa mu kooti n'ekola ki n'ekusalirawo eyo ye rule of law abagunjufu nze mu UID kye baatutendeka mu 95 nze nali secretary wa international relations eyasooka ne bakama baffe abaaliwo bye baatutendeka ate nammwe mwenna emyaka bwenjiraba ono mumulaba abawe kaadi ez'obwa UID Nambozi yali mawulire Senyonyi yali mawulire mwe kamera enyuma ne mukyusaako ne mujja kubanga eno tukozesa wano tetulowooza naki tetulina ba foot soldier tulina ba brain soldier so ebyo mbimaze abakakomi awo secretary general yali wano n'abagamba nitwaita akafuna last week abantu nga 18 era buli wiki nzize nkola ki mbagamba tugenda bwe tuti sijja kujja wano mbalimbe nti tufunye abantu 9,000 egitaliyo newe tunaamalira mubabuuza nga abo babagambye nti balina 15,000 balina 1,000 ababaka abaagala obwe MP abakazikomyawo bali 39 aba local government lord mayors division councillors LC3 ne 5 bakawera 22 olwaleero omwami oli wekawempe south seba amanya ngerabidde Ronald Musasizi wuyo fomu njimuwadde tabagamba sijimuwadde agenda kuvuganya kati okusinzira mu constitution bw'anaabeera yekka nze ogwange kola report n'enjiwa baani abakulu nti wano tewaliiwo mulala kyemmanyi ku bifo ebisinga abantu abakimye fomu bifo biringa nga 5 ebiriko abavuganya oba oli awo n'abalala banajja twongeddeyo okutuusa nga 26 omwezi guno nga guggwako era nina bemmanyi waliwo omwami omwe abadde honorable wa NRM yakakola ebisanja 2 ava Bulamogi yampeereza dda message ajja awatali ntalo awali emirembe awali okugoberera amateeka n'abalala mujja kubalaba naye temujja kutya kuba mutumanyi so kati omuntu ojja tutandika saawa nga 4 paka 10 buli lunaku ne tubagamba ayagala akole ki ajje ddala ddala muyina ekibuuzo ekirala waliwo